Attention! McCarthy Math Academy proudly presents the Math FSA Bootcamp series. Hello everyone, I'm Miss McCarthy and I am so excited that you are here. You are more than a test score.
We don't want you stressing out about this test.
We just want you to activate your greatness within. And you might be saying,
But Miss McCarthy, listen, I know that math is your jam, but math and I, we're not really the best of friends.
you may have struggled in the past. And you know what? Good. Struggle is necessary because struggle makes us stronger. If we go over something in these videos that you're like, that skill didn't quite click yet, I'm gonna send you to more videos to help you practice. Your teachers and I, we can expose you to all kinds of tools and strategies, but you have to choose to use them. You have to choose to own them. Imagine opening up that test and feeling so excited to throw down your best. This can be your reality. So now is the time that you need to activate the person you were born to be, and let's do this. Are you ready to throw 100% focus, hustle, and heart into this right now? That's what I'm talking about. Yes! Okay, let's go ahead and jump on into today's episode of the Math FSA Bootcamp series. And I almost forgot to say, let me teach ya. What is happening, 5th graders? Welcome to video number 4 of the Math FSA Bootcamp series. Super excited that you're here. I hope that you have your worksheet because I'm going to ask you to pause the video and try to solve these 2 problems today on your own. Why? That way you can try to throw down your best and see what you still need help with when you press play to join me in solving the problem. If you're thinking, oh, Ms. McCarthy, I don't have the worksheet for today, don't worry. In the description box below or somewhere around this video, there is a link that you can click and you can download the worksheets that go with this video and with the other videos that I drop on YouTube. So at this time, go ahead and press pause, try to solve it on your own, throw down your best, make sure you're marking up your text.
Throw down your best, make sure you're marking up your text. Throw down your best, make sure you're marking up your text.
I feel like I'm a rapper right now. And then press play when you are ready to join me. Go. All right, welcome back, 5th grade. Let's see how you did. All right, so here we go. Number 1 says, let me get my pen on. By the way, do not use pen for math. I'm only using pen because it's easier to show up on camera. However, in math, we make tons of mistakes and we have to check our work and redo it. Our journey gets a little bit messy with math, so make sure that you are using a what? A pencil, that's right. So which statements? Where are the statements? They're down there. About the values or amounts of 2.7. We don't say 2.7. Let's read this correctly. 2, what does the decimal say? And then this 7 right here is in the tenths place. So let's read it together. 2 and 7 tenths. Ugh. And we're going to go all the way here. This is the tenths, hundredths, thousandths place, so we're going to read this as 27 thousandths. Ooh, I got some spit that time from you guys. Nice job with those decimals. Okay, so let's read it again. Which statements about the values 2 and 7 tenths and 27 thousandths are true? So we're trying to find which ones are correct, right? Okay, so these guys. These are fun to do. Now, these are statements right here, and there's a lot of words. And what we're going to do, what I like to do here for my strategy is to take it apart over here using numbers and symbols. So turning it into an equation using numbers and symbols. So we have 27 thousandths that would be equals 1/10 of 2 and 7 tenths. So I'm going to rewrite that right over here. I'm going to try to give myself some space. See, that's why y'all need a pencil. So this is a power of 10 problem. This is a place value problem for for 5th grade. And what I'm going to do is just focus on this. I'm going to see if the equations are balanced, if each side of the equal sign is true. If that's true, then we're going to mark it true. So 1/10 of 2 7/10. When we have 1/10 of, it means that we're kind of dividing here. Even though it says multiplication, we're actually making 2 7/10 smaller. So because of that, we're going to shift our decimal to the left to make the value less. If you're like, Miss McCarthy, where's that rhyme from? You need to check out McCarthy Math.1.5.5. I'll send you in the right direction at the end of this video. If you know that you need some more help with problems like this, McCarthy Math.1.5.5 has your back where I break it down. So here we have 2 7/10. Let me take that. And because it's 1/10, I'm going to shift my decimal 1 time to the left. How do I know it's 1 time? Because there's 1 0 there. So shift my decimal to the left to make the value less. Out with the old decimal, in with the new. So if I were to rewrite this, it would be 27 thousandths is equal to, do a little arrow there instead, is equal to, oh, I'm running out of space. All right, so I realize that I'm running out of space over here. So what I'm going to do is drop this down. Okay, so I'm taking 0.027 or 27 thousandths equals, and then when I shifted it to the left, it would have been decimal point 27 or 27 hundredths, like that. So is this true? Are these the same? Are these balanced on each side? No, right? Look, there's a 0 right there in the 10th place, and here we have a 2 in the 10th place, meaning this is not equivalent or not true. So because of that, we can eliminate choice A. Let's take a look at choice B. 27 thousandths is 1/100th of 2 7/10. If I rewrite that using numbers and symbols, it would be 27 thousandths equals, that's what is stands for, 1/100th of 2 7/10. So let me take this and solve it out. So again, because we are multiplying 2 7/10 by a fraction that's less than 1, it's like dividing, okay? It's like dividing by a power of 10. And we have 2 zeros there. So it's actually going to be that we shift our decimal to the left to make our value less 2 hops, okay? So 2 7/10, I'm shifting it 2 times to the left. 1, 2. Out with the old, in with the new, and what do I put in this space right here? A 0, right? Okay, so now let's rewrite this problem right here. We had our original was 27 thousandths, so I'm gonna write 0.027 equals, be really careful here. Let's go back to what we created. It was decimal point 027. And I actually like to put a 0 in front right there in the ones place when we don't have it. So we've got, if we're looking, do our numbers match? Do our values match? They do, which means that this equation right here is true. Therefore, we need to mark it. By the way, we forgot, oh, maybe you didn't forget, but I forgot to put the question type in here. So let's go ahead and pause. What kind of question type is this? Yeah, it's a multi-select, right? We're thinking that there's going to be more than one answer. We've got more than 4 answer choices here, and it says which statements. So it's a multi-select. Make sure you've got that in there. Now, let's look at C. So I'm going to rewrite C right out here. So we have, again, 27 thousandths is, that's an equal sign, 10 times less. So that means that we can actually write 2 7/10 divided by, because we're doing 10 times less, that means we're dividing it by 10, really to the power of 1 right there, 10 times less. Because of that, because we are dividing by a power of 10, we're going to shift our decimal to the left to make the value less. So let's take our value of, we're taking this part and working it out. So we've got 2 7/10, because it's to the power of 1, or it's only 1 0, 10 times. We're going to shift it 1 time, shift our decimal to the left to make the value less. Out with the old, in with the new, and let's rewrite it. This would be 0.27 or 27 hundredths. 27 thousandths, is that the same as 27 hundredths? It's not the same, right? They are not equal. So let's go ahead and eliminate that one. All right, let's take a look at choice D now. 27 thousandths is, so equals 100 times less. So we're doing 2 7/10 divided by 100, or this would also be 10 to the power of 2. Okay, so because we're dividing by 100, we're dividing a decimal by 100, we're going to shift our decimal to the left to make the value less. So 2 7/10. How many hops are we going to do for this one to the left? 2, right? Because there's 1, 2 zeros. Shift our decimal to the left 1 hop, 2 hops to make the value less. Out with the old, in with the new, and what do we need to write right here in this blank space? A 0. So if we were to rewrite this problem, we would have 0.027 or 27 thousandths equals 0.027. 0.027. And what can we put right here in the ones place? A 0. There's nothing there, so it has a value of 0. And look, those two, they match. So what can we do with choice D? Keep it or eliminate it? Keep it, right? Let's go ahead and mark choice D. All right, now it's time for choice E. We have to make sure we go through all of these, working them all out, showing our journey on paper. Okay, so here we have 27 thousandths is, so we write an equal sign, good. 100 times more than 2 7/10. So here I'm going to write 2 7/10 times, because we're increasing, we're going more than it, 100 times more, because we're multiplying 2 7/10 times 100 times 100. We're getting greater now. When we multiply, we shift our decimal to the right to make the value mighty. So here we have 2 7/10. How many hops are we going to take this decimal to the right? 2, because we have 2 zeros there. 1, 2. Out with the old, in with the new, right there. And what goes over here? A 0. So if we rewrite this equation, that would be 27 thousandths equals 270. I can actually drop that decimal there. It's invisible. It's like an invisible ninja. Wah, wah, wah. Are those two values equivalent? No, so it's not true. This statement right here is not true. So we can go ahead and eliminate it over here. Remember, do not eliminate on the bubble, because the machine might think that you're trying to pick that one. We don't want E. We just proved it wrong. So your answers for number 1 are B and D. Let's go ahead and take a look at number 2. Ooh, before we even get started, let's go ahead and jot down what kind of question this is. I see a grid over here, right? So our answer is going to end up over here in the grid. So what kind of question is this? Yeah, it's a gridded response, right? So let's write that in there. Gridded response. So let's read the question. An equation. An equation means that it must have an equal sign, and look, there it is. An equation is shown, but there's a missing value. What is the missing value, or the missing amount, in the equation which has an equal sign? If it doesn't have an equal sign, what's it called? An expression, right? So our job is to figure out what number, what missing value goes in this box right here. So let me write this down here. We've got something times 1/100ths equals 1 48 hundredths. Okay. I know that this 1/100ths, because we're multiplying by a fraction less than 1, it's going to make our value less. So this has the power right here, the power to make the number less. And it shifts 2 hops left. Okay, so whatever number that I put right here, this 1/100th is going to make it 2 hops to the left to get that.
Whatever number that I put right here, this 1/100th is going to make it 2 hops to the left to get that.
All right, so what I'm gonna do is just kind of play around with that and see what number needs to go there. So I know that at the end, it's going to be 1 and 4/4800ths, right? At the end. And I know that it's going to shift 2 times to the left to get that. So I know that this number over here actually needs to be bigger. It needs to be a greater number because after this gets a hold of it, the 1/100ths, it's actually going to be less. So I need to go from bigger and greater, and then this is less. So what if it was 14.8 or 14 8/10? Let's see how that would work. So if I did that by 1/100th, this would mean that I'm shifting my decimal to the left to make the value less. How many hops? 2, right? So if I took that number and shifted it 2 times to the left, 1, 2, out with the old, in, oops, it's supposed to be a decimal, not a 0. In with the new, and I rewrite it, that would be 148 thousandths. Is that what I'm trying to get to? No, so it's not 14 8/10. Let me see. Let me go one more. What about if it was 148 with my ninja decimal right there times 1/100ths? That means I'm going to shift it 2 hops. So 1, 2, shift my decimal to the left to make the value less. Out with the old, in with the new. Do I get to 1 and 4800ths? Yes. So the missing value here would be 148. Just to clarify, 148 times 1/100ths equals 1 and 4800ths. This is true because if I take this part and solve it, this would be 148. Here's my ninja decimal. Hiya! I'm shifting it 2 times to the left, 1, 2, and then I have a match. Okay? So the missing value would be 148. That's what needs to go into the grid over there, okay? So the way that you can do this is I like to write 1 and I just messed it up. Look at that. All right, so be careful, Ms. McCarthy. This should be 1, 4, and then this will be 8. 148. Now your teacher might want you to be starting over here, going like 1, 4, 8. Either way is fine, just as long as you're starting it. If you're going to start from the left, start all the way from the left and go over. If you're going to start from the right, put your 8, your 4, and your 1. You can't be hovering here in the middle like 1, 4, 8. You have to choose a side. Okay, so I'm going to bubble it in. If I don't bubble it in, it'll look like it's a blank answer. This is where the computer will actually scan your answer. So you got to make sure that you bubble it in. Okay, now these types of problems, they take a lot of thinking power. As you can see, I messed up a little bit too. I had to go back and revise. I even wish that I had a pencil because I made a mistake there. It would have been a lot easier to erase it. But luckily with a pen, I was able to fix it real quick. All right, so if you guys need some more help with this, I want you to take a look at McCarthy Math.1.5.5. This can be a complicated skill for 5th grade. It really takes a lot of practice with it. And I have plenty of practice videos for you on McCarthy Math.1.5.5. So you can go ahead and grab your free 7-day trial. You're going to look at Unit 4 after you've logged in, and days 48 through 56. That's 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56. That's 9 videos, y'all, helping you practice with this skill, okay, of shifting your decimal. After you watch those videos, you will be a pro at working with decimals and place value. So check that out. That's the first link. The second link is to another Math FSA video that I created several years ago. It was part of a series called How to Pass the Math FSA. So you can go ahead and take a look at that. Now remember, I said I created it a few years ago. I created it when the Math FSA was a computerized test. So the problems looked a little bit different, some of them. It's still a great way to practice though. So check out that link below or somewhere around this video. And finally, you can stay in the loop when I drop new videos by following me on Instagram at McCarthy Math Academy, on Facebook at McCarthy Math Academy, and of course here on YouTube at McCarthy Math Academy. If you found this video to be helpful, please do me a favor and pop that like button. That way I know that you enjoyed this video, that you got something out of it, and it helps me to keep on making more videos. While you're at it, why don't you go ahead and subscribe? That way you are in the know whenever I drop a new video. All right, everybody, before we go, I just want you to know that you were created for a purpose. That's right, you are the ones that we have been waiting for. So I want you to find your light and then shine it bright. Watch out, world, because we've got a whole new generation of world changers, that's you, who are about to shake it up. When you have the choice, remember to choose kindness, and I will see you on the next episode.